Yo, welcome back to the Nerds with Glasses podcast, your number one gaming podcast on YouTube. I am your host, Knowledge.
And I'm Javi. This year is going to be a really big year for games, and make sure you keep up with all our games on our channel, of course, but also for games that we just sometimes don't do. Go to gmdb.tv.
Yeah, that's the best place you can find all the best game movies on YouTube, on the internet, put together. We compile them together with our partners, Yik and Tamil.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, but go check out the website. We also have it on our app if you guys use our app, so GOP on the app too. Alright, so this week we wanted to talk about all X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes.
Later on in the week we're actually going to do our E3, our yearly E3 podcast predictions and what we think is going to happen. But before we get to that, we're going to do X-Men Today, Apocalypse. How did you like it? How did you feel about it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
Yes, so we're going to go... We're full spoilers, just ahead. Granted, This is just like our Avengers one, which we said we would do this one a little bit sooner, but we just couldn't.
I had to go to Cancun because it was
had to go.
It was my cousin's bachelor.
Oh, right now, I forgot that's why you went.
Yeah, it's his bachelor event. It wasn't even a party; it was an event, bachelor event, Cancun.
Yeah.
So yeah, first off, what did you feel about the movie? Did you like it? What didn't you like?
Just like the new one, this new generation that's come out, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too. I enjoyed it a lot.
The cast is great. There's a couple of things I didn't like about the cast, but that's not really it wasn't too big of an issue.
Like what didn't you like about the cast in particular?
Just, I guess, like I kind of wish, especially in this one, that they would have focused on other characters more than characters.
Okay, so not so much like the actual casting.
No. The casting was okay.
Because I heard a lot of people say that Olivia Munn was terrible as Psylocke. I read that a lot, and I heard that a lot. But I don't know if I was just biased because I love Olivia Munn. Like I think she's so hot. Attack of the Show. Attack of the Show. So
granted, I haven't seen her in too many movies.
Yeah, that's true, but I didn't think she was bad. But like I said, maybe it's just one of those like, oh, she's so hot. Like I'm not even listening to her talk. Like oh, you're so hot the whole time. Just
granted, I don't remember Psylocke for being too talkative either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if anything, the problem for me was like, why did she have to fight Beast? No offense to whoever, it just didn't seem like a good fight.
Yeah, it just seemed like Beast has to fight somebody here.
Yeah,
so.
and it would it would have been fine. Like I don't like, you know. That's fine, have them fight, but the fight was just very lackluster.
Yeah.
Actually, the whole third act, a lot of it was lackluster.
Yeah, I thought. Well, we'll get into more of that, but go back to your casting. So you thought it should have focused
on the. I was like, I almost had visions of the cartoon. You know, you and Spanky mentioned it. As soon as they leave the theater, you're like. You're in your head. The what is it? The Sentinel comes out.
Yeah,
you know,
like they teased the mall thing, and like you said, like there's no way it can happen because all the Sentinels are gone. But at the same time, you're just like, oh, the mall, Jubilee,
the last Sentinel.
Yeah,
like they missed one. You know,
yeah, something. We're gonna see Gambit, and it didn't happen. And then it was also disappointing that Jubilee was just a throwaway.
Granted, like the four. I guess 4 youngins.
Yeah.
You know, Jubilee, Scott, and Jean, and Kurt.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of like overall underused.
Yeah.
Even though the Kurt, Scott, and Jean had a decent amount of screen time.
Oh yeah, I mean they had a way bigger role than Jubilee, but
granted, I was surprised Nightcrawler had such a big role.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I love Nightcrawler. It's just like I was like, huh.
And he was underused in part 2 as well. Even though
the first scene though was the best scene of the whole movie.
It's the best scene of the whole franchise. Like
very much, yes.
Yeah, when he destroys the entire Secret Service. Yeah, it's one of the best scenes in comic book.
And I didn't even like that actor very much.
Yeah,
but just Nightcrawler is so good.
Yeah, I can agree with that they should have. It didn't really bother me when you brought it up. I was like, yeah, that would have been cool if they focused on them a lot more. But honestly, to me, I was like, it was like a side.
Yeah, I guess to me, it just Mystique had almost too much importance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was it was one of those things. She already had a major part in the second one. Like she was a major part of that.
Yeah.
Besides Wolverine, you know.
Yeah.
Like this one, like it could have been like fine, use her a lot, but like kind of like a passing of the torch.
Yeah, I get you. And it seemed like they were setting it up that way too.
Mm-hmm.
especially because Scott and Jean are such huge characters in the whole X-Men franchise. Like you figure, like okay, this makes sense. When you mentioned casting, though, I personally didn't like the Jean casting. I wish they would have used somebody different because I don't know. She didn't feel like Jean to me.
Okay.
I didn't think she was a bad actress. I think she was a fine actress, like good actress. But like I don't know. Something about her look didn't feel like Jean to me.
I don't know, because I'm trying to think, because I can't really go off, like I don't know what else to go off as a young Jean Grey, you know?
Yeah.
Because even in the cartoon, she's older already.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to think like, the only other young Jean was in X-Men 1.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's like you can still go from the cartoon, let's say, and imagine what she would look young. Right. If anything, they probably showed her younger in a couple of episodes. You know, I don't remember.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, I don't know. I didn't, that the casting was fine.
Yeah.
I thought Scott's casting was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good too.
Kurt was fine. Like, I mean, it's really the makeup that does it.
It just looks. I think they need to do it different to me. Also, the makeup just looks too over the top to me. But it doesn't really bother me.
See,
but like
I like it because I also liked, what was it, Azazel's?
Uh-huh.
His was kind of over the top. You remember Azazel from the first one? The one that can teleport too. I think it was a demon looking one in the first one.
In the first one,
X-Men First Class.
Oh, in First Class.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
you don't remember him? He was one of the guys. With what's his? I can't remember his name, but the guy that absorbs powers, or the one that can like absorb it and redirect it.
Okay.
He was
one of his main.
Yeah.
One of the. Okay. I get you.
And I just like, because they're not supposed to look normal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but it just looks a little cartoonish, like.
Which that's what I'm saying. Like, I actually like that. I don't know, because I can't see how that would be like you know, how they can make that look any more. Less cartoony. You know?
I mean,
he's one of the most one of the weirdest look. I guess not one of the weirdest. Is but at least of the ones they have, he's one of the weirder looking ones.
I mean, at least they're consistent with it, because it's the same thing with Mystique when she's in her blue like real skin. Like it looks very cartoony. I've never liked how it looked. It looks like she's just painted to me. You know. So
it's one of those things it's one of those things, your suspension of belief has to be really you have to really let it go for characters like that.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from the casting, then just overall, I thought the movie was good. For me as a fan of the shows, of the cartoon show.
Yeah, I remember I don't remember the Apocalypse Saga.
Yeah.
I was young when I was watching it.
And if I remember correctly, there is 2 different Apocalypse Sagas. This one doesn't really follow one in particular.
And it kind of mixes.
Yeah, it kind of mixes, because you do have the 4 Horsemen, which is the main part of it. But like that one's also mixed with like Cable and time travel, and that's not in this movie at all.
We haven't. I mean, the closest we've been, I guess, into Cable was. Days of Future Past. I mean, it wasn't Cable, but it was like, what's his name? I can't remember. Bishop,
yeah, and he's also a time traveler.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's also in the Apocalypse Saga too. And in the cartoon, I was actually very surprised that this movie was actually a lot more centered than it was. I thought it was going to be a jumbled mess, because in the Apocalypse Saga, there's so many things going on, and it's a worldwide different mutants from all over the place type of thing, and it came down again to this kind of the same thing with Civil War, where I'm not expecting you to put 10,000 mutants on the screen, because that's impossible.
Yeah, they put I think 50 and then knocked out 56 or 46 of them just to have I guess 47 to have the 3 Jean, Scott, and Kurt. Stay. You know.
Yeah. So like all the kids are gone. Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying it's not in the cartoon show. It's a globe-trotting saga where I know in one of them, I think the saga I'm thinking about is Sinister is capturing a bunch of the most powerful psychics in the whole universe. So like Psylocke, Jean, Xavier, and they're taking them to the middle of whatever they call it, the multiverse, or the I don't know what they call it in Marvel. Like, is it Is it the same thing as?
I don't remember.
You know, it's the same
like
idea.
The dimensions, like,
like in the different dimensions. So it's the same idea, and of course, it ends up being Apocalypse, who's using Sinister and wants to use his psychics to control the universe, basically. You know,
which I guess they kind of
they tapped on that little aspect of it.
Because that's what they do. Like, I mean, almost every cinematic movie nowadays, it doesn't try to like super be what it was.
Yeah.
It taps into it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and like glance off the top.
Yeah.
And then come back and do its own thing.
And it can't. Then that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
Because it's not a cartoon.
It's not a cartoon. You can't draw all these things. It can't be that over the top.
Marvel, I'm so like worried about. Besides excited about just like the Infinity Gauntlet, like bringing both. Because they did it with like Thor a little bit and Avengers, you know.
Yeah.
But bringing just more of the thing, especially with Doctor Strange coming in.
Yeah.
Just like.
There's just so much stuff going on that I think it's gonna be hard for them to wield all that. So who knows? But
I hope it doesn't. I hope it's not a struggle for them.
So the result is, to me, you get I think a good movie on its own, but I can see where a lot of people didn't like it because. If you like the cartoon in particular, it did just feel like this felt small scale to me compared to the cartoon, and it's impossible for me to not think of the cartoon when I'm watching the movie. But as the movie itself, I enjoyed it, and I was surprised that it was getting bad reviews.
Yeah,
like not terrible reviews, but pretty mediocre, like 5, 6s, and I would give the movie like an 8.5.
Yeah,
I thought it was enjoyable. One of the things that I really liked, I wanted to ask you about, was the Magneto scenes, like especially just like him being a normal person.
Yes. And then, oh my God.
And then after, I'm guessing Scarlet Witch. We don't know who his daughter was.
That's the thing that's so confusing because I remember I think it was the second one. It was Quicksilver. He has a little sister and she's dressed in like red.
Yeah.
She's confirmed not to be Scarlet Witch, but at the same time it's like this obviously is clear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then in this one it's like. I mean, she has powers.
Yeah.
She's a daughter of Magneto. Granted, she's not related to Quicksilver though.
Yeah.
But obviously because they're not using that. They're not using it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, anybody who knows the cartoons or the comics will say that's Scarlet Witch. Yeah. That's it. So there's a couple moments when like stuff happened, and I'm like. Yeah, everybody in this room is dead.
Yeah,
like,
twice. Especially with Magneto. Just
yeah, I'm like
when they first kill his family. That like, of course, like who didn't see that coming?
Yeah.
Granted, I didn't think the wife was gonna die.
Yeah, that was surprising.
That was actually very surprising, especially the way she died.
Yeah.
But like, you just see like the one cop that was kind of like cool. Like all the other ones look like assholes.
Yeah.
But there was that one guy that looked like. You know, like I can't do anything. This is like, I'm sorry, you know.
And like his just cold murder of everybody there, like not even flinching, just
with his grandparents or his parents' pictures, right?
Like it was like the locket or whatever.
Yeah, the pit had it. It was just like
just killed everybody. I really love. I've always loved Magneto. It doesn't make any sense to me. At the end, though, with Magneto, where he just murdered half the Earth. Like, it's one of those things, they don't show him people actually dying.
But he fucked up the entire magnetism. Was literally pulling out bridges from the other side of the world.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
People are dead.
Like, people, for sure, there's injuries or something,
No. For sure there was casualties.
Yeah, there was casualties. And yet, Xavier still lets him walk off. And doesn't do anything. Like, yeah. I don't understand that. That bothered me at the end because I was like, what? Like, come on. Like, they have to do something. Even though I love Magneto, I'd be like, yeah, just kill all these. Like, if I was a mutant, you know, or like, you know, the Harry Potter, like these muggles or whatever, like, fuck them, you know, fuck them. I don't care. But
yeah, but even in the like just like remember watching, I think it was the third. Was it the third one? Yeah, because the third one they go to Jean's house.
Yeah, in the beginning.
It was an older Gene too. They also both.
Oh, they go back. Yeah,
they go back again.
Yeah,
yes. But they both like. There's just like he knows Magneto isn't necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
But he can't accept that he's right. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why he kind of like, you know.
That's true, but he murdered half the Earth. You know, like he murdered many. Let's say we'll agree, a couple thousand people at the very least, like a couple million people.
I mean, what was that? San Francisco Bridge, or which bridge was that?
The Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, what is he gonna do? He doesn't have the helmet. I mean, I guess he didn't have the helmet on. He could have just controlled them.
Yeah.
You know. But.
Well, he had like a shield of magnetism around.
No. I'm talking about the end when he lets him go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
Like he could have like done, but
he could have done something.
But you know, like what was it? He said like you can make me do anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, and then he just walks away.
Whatever. I mean, I guess he has to be out there to be the villain. So again, next time he'll try to some other scheme that you know.
It's one of those things. I mean, yeah, he's doing bad shit, but you know.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's his friend. So.
Yeah.
I guess that overrides life. Yeah. the lives of humans.
Something I guess I don't know if I liked or not, but I think Scott seeing, I don't know if he saw him die, but just knowing Havoc died like that.
Yeah, no, he didn't see him. I don't think he found them when he went, because they're outside, and it's the only one that Quicksilver couldn't save.
Right. I forgot who said that though.
I think it was who was there with them? I forgot who it was, but it said, they were the closest one to it's Beast.
It was
Beast. Yeah, he was the closest one to the explosion.
And he couldn't get him.
And he was like, "Well, I got everybody I saw."
Yeah,
you know.
I was just like, what a way to go. And he was definitely one of my favorite characters throughout the series.
Yeah.
Especially just like when you first see him, like, why is he in jail? He's voluntarily here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, damn, like
what a savage. Yeah, it was a bad death for him. Plus, I hate when they do stuff like that where it's like, you know, stuff is around and Beast is telling them like, no, like blows up the whole fucking thing. Yeah.
What was it? Wreak Havoc, remember?
Yeah.
They told them on Summer Story, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
It's like, wreak havoc.
So cool.
So two characters that I want to discuss that you liked and didn't like. How did you like Apocalypse?
I actually liked them.
Okay.
When I first saw the trailers, I was worried like something about the costume didn't look right when I saw the trailers. But when I saw it in the theaters, it looked fine.
Yeah.
I mean, and granted, Oscar, can't remember his Poe Dameron, can't remember the actor's name. Well, Apocalypse actor, can't remember his name. Great actor, you know.
Yeah.
And I liked the voice they put on him, or the voice he did.
It sounded a lot like the cartoon voice.
Did it?
It did.
I don't remember it, to be honest.
It has that kind of deep multi-voice thing going on. Like it was good. I thought it looked, again, a little cartoony, but it didn't bother me like that I couldn't watch the movie. But I was like, I kind of wish they would have done it different. If they would have done it different, I think it would have.
Honestly, they almost should have just gone like the Thanos route.
Yeah.
Completely CGI like that.
Yeah.
Because he looks like cartoony, but like sick as fuck.
Like cartoony. It looks like a beast. Yeah.
Especially because how built he is, though.
Yeah. But then again, we haven't really seen him too much. Just like little scenes here and there.
True.
So
it could be.
It'd be hard for him to like interact, you know.
I mean, Colossus did fine in Deadpool.
Okay. Yeah.
Granted, he looked very cartoony.
He did.
But
he's made of like whatever steel, like whatever metal it is. Yeah. Like so, what else are you gonna do? I think Apocalypse, it was the way they did him was good overall. And of course, the last character that we're gonna talk about is Quicksilver.
Yeah. Why is anyone afraid of anyone besides Quicksilver?
Yeah, like. I remember, so there's one scene, I guess hopefully they have one scene for him like this in every movie.
There's two in this one, kind of.
Well, but the one in particular...
with the music going.
Yeah, the one in particular in this one is the house,
Havoc accident, not on purpose obviously, but Havoc causes an explosion.
That destroys the entire campus. And Quicksilver gets there just in time. He's just like outside of the house while the explosion starts.
Yeah, so by this time, Havoc is literally in front of the blast. He's already disintegrated.
Yeah.
And he sees he's like, is that fire? Or he's like, oh, and then he does the whole like, oh shit.
And then he takes
what
off.
What song plays?
I forgot, dude.
But
it was like
so The last one was perfect. This one was perfect.
Yeah, and it was funny. It was humorous, and you're just like,
and you completely forgot Havoc died.
Yeah, well, you didn't even know for sure, so you didn't know at that point. But he goes in there and saves, like you said, I don't know how many, but like all 50.
He's like setting up a curtain like in the tree, throws them into the curtain so it like relieves the throw.
Yeah. And
wraps someone in a bed.
And you're just like, he's a god. Like, it's not even I was like, I wouldn't even be scared of Apocalypse. Like, and of course they confront each other later, and he's whooping hit. That was the other where he's fucking up Apocalypse, and then of course Apocalypse adjusts to it and catches him.
That's what he does.
Yeah, because he obviously he's been alive for so long for a reason. But yeah, man, like
at what point though, as Apocalypse, would you be like, yeah, fuck Xavier.
Yeah, like, I'm taking this dude. Yeah, fuck this psychic power shit. Like, cause he's like, I've never been able to be everywhere at once because of Xavier. I was like, well, you can do it with Quicksilver too.
To an extent.
Yeah, man, he's a god, dude. He's a god.
Yeah. Something I don't know how I didn't like it too much, but I just like granted Mystique was super in the forefront of this movie. I didn't like that she was literally the whole movie as not Mystique.
She was just Jennifer Lawrence for most of it. Yeah,
that bugged me, especially
because of her stance with, that she doesn't care.
Yeah,
like
and it's one of those things the movie kind of tries to like yeah, no, it's okay. Like she's doing it to hide or whatever. I'm like, okay, that makes sense up until this point because she can, like, or at least be someone else. Like, I guess the part that bothered me is, like Mystique and everything, I don't think she like necessarily should be that kind of fighter where it's like up in your face, where she was a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like she's like kind of like she's always more sneaky. You know?
Yeah.
Because she could turn into anyone. Like they did it a little bit with when she turned into Psylocke, but that was like it. Like she should have been doing that the whole movie.
Yeah. You know? She should have been using her powers to her advantage.
Because she's like I said, like it's one of those things like. It's kind of like a spy. You don't like sometimes some spy movies aren't that great because you don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's better not knowing what they're doing. You know.
Yeah.
We knew everything she was doing.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, the mystery adds to it. In spy movies, let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
but her character is like very like that's the perfect fucking spy right there.
Yeah, and it was a great use of that. Like you mentioned, like when you thought she was Psylocke, you're like, oh, okay, I guess Psylocke turned.
I guess Quicksilver's dead.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit, no, like So I get what you're saying. I mean, it was for two reasons. I'm guessing one, I've read Jennifer Lawrence hates putting on the makeup.
Makes sense.
That's number one, and number two is Jennifer Lawrence. So I think it's one of those. It's a commercial thing where you want to have Jennifer Lawrence perfect face and body being shown off instead of having a blue Mystique. So
it was just because like in the like just comparing the old one, you never saw her.
Yeah, and she was a supermodel. She was it Rebecca Romijn Stamos or Rebecca Romijn?
Yeah, I don't remember. I just
John Stamos' wife,
right?
And she's a supermodel on her own right. She's a supermodel.
And she's in blue the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, you see her maybe like once.
I think it was only when she lost her powers.
Yeah. Oh no, and you just it doesn't matter, but and also when in part 2. She puts the metal inside the security guard.
Oh, she was herself? I don't remember.
Yeah, she was herself. Like she.
It was one of those things. When I saw that, I just figured she put on another like person's body.
Yeah.
I didn't figure she actually. Used
herself. That was actually her. Like Rebecca Romijn. That's what she's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like she's a supermodel and she's always in blue. So The
costume, like she was. And granted, her character is much different in that one. She was still Magneto's like almost second hand, like right hand woman.
Yeah. You know what's weird? I've also read that I don't think Jennifer Lawrence wants to do anymore. So they have to have known that going in. Like, so why would they? Like you were saying, this is a perfect opportunity to transfer over this new kind of generation and series to Scott and Jean
and have the professor and
Beast and
Beast just be like
the teacher is the one. Yeah, so
and Mystique finally just like, you know what?
Yeah, so I mean, unless people are really wrong about that, but I've read that from sources, like good sources, that say that she doesn't want to do it anymore. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking like on that end. But yeah, Quicksilver is Jesus incarnate. Like he is probably the most powerful mutant.
Yeah, and before we move on, just stuff I didn't, not that I didn't like, just was just like, I'm assuming Storm isn't a princess anymore. She's just a
regular street
hustler.
Yeah.
Like I want to know how many angels there was, because this one, in my head there's only Angel.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it is supposed to be the same Angel, so I think that's a glaring mistake that they made, because you go over, you notice a timeline.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, because it's one of those things, like I don't know how their time travel works or whatever, like how the messing with the time, but I mean, he was younger than Scott and Jean in the original trilogy. And they were like older. I don't know how much older.
Or I mean, even forget how old they were. The point is,
he wouldn't have been born at all.
Yeah, like X3, where Angel is in that movie, he's
and I know we're supposed to say it's not.
Well, the thing, it doesn't matter. As like you said, it doesn't matter because they still technically the same universe started over at this point in time, whatever. So let's say X3 took place in 2003, right? I think that's about right that we can say. That's when they do the whole where they can cure mutants and things.
Where he cuts off his wing.
Yeah, and Angel at that time seems like he's at the most 21 or something,
I think he's still living at home, like maybe like 17, 18.
Yeah, like I'm just giving him 21 just to give it to him. Of course, Days of Future Past kind of destroys the entire timeline. It destroys what happens in X3, and it restarts at the 60s, right? Is that when?
I don't remember.
Like 70s. The 70s at the yeah, it was it was the 70s. Okay, so they restart at the 70s. So it should be the same. Everything that happened before the 70s is the same. So how is now this movie takes place in the 80s? So how is Angel like in this one? I'm
just curious. That was just weird to me. I don't know. Yeah. Like maybe it was explained. Maybe it is a different Angel.
Yeah.
Because this one was definitely like fighter. Like this one was a completely different Angel. Definitely didn't seem like he had rich parents, because they wouldn't have let him get captured like that.
Yeah. So as far as I know, there's only one Angel. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a glaring mistake. I don't care that the past has been changed, but it's still the same up to this point when they changed it, when the things changed. So
yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know how, like, can someone be born? Like, I don't know if that's a rule. Maybe the rules, we don't fucking know.
Or maybe there is multiple angels and people are like, dude, just shut up, because there's multiple angels.
That was just weird.
Okay. So we talked about it a little bit, but just in general, how'd you like the young X-Men? The four youngins.
When they actually showed them, they were pretty good.
They were good.
That whole inside the Weapon X facility was amazing.
Do you think that they can carry the next movie?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I didn't see them enough, That's what I'm saying. Like, that was just like, we didn't see him enough. I mean, I liked Scott. I liked Jean. I mean, Kurt was cool too, but he didn't really, like, I don't know what's the word. He wasn't very strong. It seemed like,
He wasn't really a personality there. He was just a dude that teleported people. Like, I mean, I'm not to say that he wasn't a personality, but they just didn't have enough of him there.
Yeah.
I liked them, and the good thing I like of how they set it up is, from the original trilogy, let's say from X1 to X3, they're already adults. So this is not like when you have to rewatch Spider-Man, like the origin story. Like, you haven't seen this in the cinematic universe. You haven't seen them go through their schooling and their training. Plus, either way, it's gonna be different than it was before. But point being, like, I think it's a good setup to how they set it up for the future, because we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen them as the students, and I think that'd be exciting to see.
Jean was barely enrolled, it seemed like. And Scott just learned about his powers.
Yeah. So they're the new youngins in there.
How weird was it? I don't know, maybe not for you, but Jean and Wolverine.
Yeah, that was. Well, how much older is he than her?
But, maybe 100 years, you know, like
yeah, because he's born like in 1860.
Yeah, he's
something.
like he's older, but
yeah,
he's I guess 30 some, you know.
I mean, maybe that's one of the reasons I didn't really like her either, because she just looked too kid like. I mean, I know she's a kid, but like, man, who's the actress in the original 3?
I don't know her name.
Oh, she's a woman. Okay, like she's a full.
Yeah, and that's why
woman,
I mean they are supposed to be kids, you know.
Yeah, I know, but like it was weird seeing that. By the way,
the Weapon X costume.
Weapon X Wolverine.
Oh my god!
Like when I talk about like like I said, there's a couple scenes when a mutant walked into the room and you're like, oh man, like all these dudes are dead.
Two Magneto scenes.
I think one Apocalypse scene. When he killed all the dudes there too, when I saw him, when he told him like,
oh right, when he came up, like when Magneto was supposed to kill those guys.
Yeah, and then he was just like, you can't stop me from killing these dudes, and then immediately I was like, oh
he's
my
not
God.
trying to stop.
Yeah, like no, watch him do this right here, like, and he just turns them all into like sand, like nothing.
Well, you know, he absorbs them into the sand and crushes them.
Okay.
Yeah. Or into the ground.
But yeah, when Wolverine got out, I was like, rest in peace, every dude in here. Like you better run away.
Gene, hide everyone you care about.
Yeah, exactly.
I was surprised he didn't break into like where Quicksilver and everyone was.
Yeah, I thought they might stop him or something like that, or that he would recognize that they weren't enemies or something.
Well, he would. Yeah, I don't think he can recognize them.
Yeah,
but yeah, I know what you mean.
Did Stryker get away in that scene?
I believe he did.
He ran away like a little bitch, right?
Yes, in one of those helicopter things.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's Stryker.
Yeah, that was a great scene they threw in there because I wasn't expecting to see Wolverine, to be honest.
Really, even from the trailer?
Oh, I didn't.
They had a trailer where at the end of the trailer was a bloody like.
No,
I think it was Metal Claw.
No, I did not see
or
that.
Or adamantium claw.
I did not see that.
Yeah, well, they had it at one of the trailers.
Okay, well, good thing I didn't see it. Good thing I didn't see it, or I didn't notice it.
Yes.
But yeah, he fucking destroyed everybody. Like, and it was bloody, and they did those cool camera angles where it's like they don't show you, but you hear it, and maybe you see blood. Yeah, you see blood splatter. So in your head, you're just like, oh my god,
his head is his guts. He's like trying to pick up.
Yeah, like. So,
you know, speaking of, just like throwing this in there, just speaking of like, because this was a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
I just love their, like, because, you know, I think it was you have one fuck in the entire movie. Yeah. Or else it becomes rated R.
Yeah.
And Magneto used it. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. When it was a perfect timing, it was just like, what the fuck?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, moving on. How do you think that this new, I don't want to call this a trilogy because to me it just seems like
an extra. It's not even the next the new generation. It's the same generation,
but it's like the
how do you like
cast.
This reboot?
Yeah, or something. So like First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse versus X1, 2, and 3.
X1 and 2.
X1 and 2.
X1 and 2.
Really?
No. I'm saying just say those two. Don't.
Oh, we're not even. Oh,
like,
yeah.
That brings the entire thing down.
3 didn't exist.
Yeah.
Shout out to the little reference they made in the theater.
Yes.
So they want to go watch Return of the Jedi, and when they come out, they're like, "Oh, it was good, but it wasn't as good as Empire Strike Back."
And blah blah blah. This.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "It doesn't matter. The third one always sucks."
Yeah. At least we can agree that the third one always sucks.
Yes.
And of course, everybody in the theater took like 1 second and they're like, ah. Yes, part 3 is a travesty.
Yes.
It's a travesty to film.
Well, yeah, so 1 and 2, and then the new
versus the new. Who would you choose? Which one do you like more?
Honestly, I'm gonna say the new one. I like just overall more. The old one was great, but something about this one.
I'm gonna say this. I think X2 is the best one out of all of them.
Yes,
in my opinion.
But these 3 are so well done.
Yeah, I think these 3 are better, because even X1, like X1 was good, but it wasn't an all-time great. I wouldn't put it like in my top 10 comic book movies of all time.
Okay.
You know,
just for the first scene of X2
yeah,
wins, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Out of the X-Men movies.
For sure. I mean, there
Granted,
you go.
A good contester is Quicksilver scenes.
That's true. That's true. But that scene, like, you hadn't seen nothing like that before, like in comic book movies. So I think the Nightcrawler scene.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was an amazing scene. I still think X2 is the best one. I would also pick the new 3 versus the old ones, mostly because X3 does suck, and part 1 isn't as good as, I don't think it's as good as any of the new 3 at all. Like I think it is a good movie, but it's not as good as the new
first
3.
Just First Class surprised me so much.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like, oh man, they're just milking it now, like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and then Days of Future Past is like, no, it's like, what is it?
Like, we're making real good movies.
The Smash Doc. It's like, he's only good with one character. He's like, no, we're good with every character.
Yeah.
Like,
we're
making this all right. You know?
We can do it all.
Not only did they make a great new, whatever it is, you know, whatever you want to call it, new reboot, they completely eliminated the fact that they made the old one.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And of course, that comes down to Bryan Singer, who did 1 and 2, but didn't do part 3.
Reiner? No. I forgot who did the third one.
I forgot. You might be right, but he didn't do the third one because I believe he was working on Superman Returns,
which was also good.
I thought it was, again.
I liked it at least. Maybe it wasn't good, but I liked it.
That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. But let me just say that about Superman Returns. The only reason I think Superman Returns isn't a great movie is because they didn't have a great villain. Lex Luthor is a great villain, but Superman needs a physical foe. Like, he needs somebody to
especially
fight.
In the Return.
Yeah, especially like in the big epic comeback.
Is this supposed? I'm just curious. Is this supposed to be like what was it? Christopher Reeve? No.
Yeah. So actually, Superman Returns is as if it continues from Christopher Reeve's part 1 and 2, I believe, and it pretends 3 and 4 never happened.
Right.
I know for sure 1 and 2 for sure, but I'm not sure if 3 and 4 ever happened. But it does continue from there, and like I think the best Superman scene ever in any Superman movie is the airplane scene in Superman Returns. Like, I've said that before, but
his greatest villain.
Yeah, like,
that movie,
Gravity. Yeah, dude, that was the best scene in any Superman movie, and if they would have had more scenes like that, it would have been good. But whatever. Point being, Singer didn't do the third one. The third one was a cluttered mess. There was way too many things going on.
Who knows if he could have even saved it?
Yeah, it depends on how they wanted to take the story. But, just another thing about the young X-Men before we move on. Can we stop making Jean Phoenix? She's not the Phoenix, all right? She's not the Phoenix. She's the host for the Phoenix. And they did it in part 3, and I'm surprised that he did it here, too. Mm. But I guess maybe they didn't want to make it super.
Yeah, I don't think. Like I said, I don't think she's not Phoenix. Maybe this one will be like, you know, finally reveal the Phoenix Force.
Okay, but still, it's like in the, at least in the cartoons, like, they're actually in space. Like, you know, when this stuff happens, you know, like they don't the Phoenix isn't discovered on Earth. Like, you know, so I don't know. Like, to me, I'm like, she's not the fucking Phoenix. Stop making her the Phoenix. But it did provide for a great scene when she destroyed Apocalypse, so I didn't mind that. But at the same time,
he should have, instead of fucking whoever he took before, he should have taken Wolverine. He would have survived.
Yeah, he would have regenerated. Also, we needed the one Storm. Storm was not a beast in this movie. She needed her beastness.
Honestly, all the Four Horsemen were not a beast.
Yeah,
they got
except for Magneto.
Yeah. Psylocke got not easily, but she was handled by Beast.
Yeah, and she was the best one out of the 3, in my opinion.
Angel was actually pretty cool from the looks of him.
Yeah.
Like, before he fought, but also not very much. Granted, he was imbued with these powers.
Yeah.
Storm was like, where is Storm? Like,
yeah.
You know? I mean, granted, I love the look.
Yeah.
Best, like, one of my favorite character looks in that movie.
Yeah.
You know? Costume looks, I guess.
Like, every movie that Storm's in needs to have that scene where it zooms into her eyes, they turn white, the wind starts blowing, the rain starts falling, you hear lightning in the background. They just
start running.
They don't even need. They could just take the Halle Berry shot of that and just insert. Like, they just need to just always have that scene, because that's the sickest scene that she could ever have. Because it's just like it just got real.
Perfect against Apocalypse, which she's just like, pew.
Yeah, and I was expecting her to do like God of Thunder, like
I was expecting her like to like, because what was happening at the time? Because Phoenix hadn't come out yet.
No, it was like Magneto was shooting all the metal toward him, and Cyclops was shooting his beam. So like he had like a shield around
even
him.
If she just like used like a tornado to like lift them up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
That would have been good. But no, yeah, I wanted to see the God of Thunder lasso thunder from the sky and drop it down, and I wanted that to break the thing, then Phoenix finishes it off.
Like there's like that typical big explosion that everyone goes back,
And then of course, but she did it. It was like pew! It was just like nothing. Yeah. So whatever. But yeah, how does this one stack up? I agree with you. I think that overall,
yes, X-Men 2 still probably. Like I even like X-Men 1 like maybe more than the first one class? Maybe. But I did like the First Class again just because of how much of a surprise it was. Not only how good it was.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And how many mutants they actually showed in that one too.
In the
like
original
they
one?
focused on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because like there was like what 5 on the good side and like 5 or 6 on the bad side.
Yeah.
That aren't Magneto and.
Yeah.
And they were all new for the most, except for like, what's her name, Mystique, Magneto, and Xavier. At least in this, that they focused on.
That they focus on. So yeah, and I don't call this new one a trilogy because, like I said, this one's more of a saga.
It's kind of like event like Marvel, but they don't have a trilogy.
Yeah, it's just more of a cinematic universe, I guess. I guess you would call it now. Although before we move on to the next thing, I do want to say about the original X-Men is every comic book movie owes a debt to that movie.
And Spider-Man.
But that one in particular, because that was the first one. Spider-Man was second.
Yeah, it was
one.
After. Yeah, but
real like the modern comic book movie started with Blade, which came out like I believe in '98.
I don't know how people feel about Blade. I love.
Blade. Oh no, Blade is like all time great, but I know Blade is Marvel. I know.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a comic book.
It doesn't feel like a comic book. It feels like an action movie.
Like honestly, it felt like a really good even better Resident Evil kind of shit.
Yeah, a good vampire action movie.
Yeah, or Underworld, whatever. It's like if those movies were like really really good. Yeah, that's what they would aspire to.
Yeah, so Blade 1 also deserves a lot of credit, but like you said, I felt the same way, and you obviously do too. It doesn't feel like a comic book movie. Mm-hmm. X-Men was the first one that was like a comic book movie all the way. And
did it even have a Stan Lee cameo?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I haven't seen it in a while.
But yeah, every comic book movie owes a debt to that movie because it really started the flood that is now like all comic book movies. Like we get what, like 4 or 5 a year.
And then Spider-Man boosted it.
Spider-Man took it to a new level.
And then Iron Man and Batman Begins also just lifted it,
Yeah.
It just seems like they keep pushing each other.
Actually, now you say it like that too, I think those are the tiers too. I think X-Men showed that it could be done. Spider-Man showed that it could be a phenomenon. Iron Man and Batman showed that it could be a ongoing like franchise that can go on for a long time. So they really changed it up because even like the old Batmans too, like they didn't feel like comic book movies. They felt.
I guess they did, but they didn't. They didn't give you that same feeling as how these are.
Yeah, and also those, like, Batman Forever was okay.
Which one was, I don't.
That's the one with Two-Face as Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey as.
I love Jim Carrey in that.
Yeah, but still, like the movie was okay. That's when Robin first came in, and Val Kilmer was Batman. Not the greatest Batman, not the greatest Bruce Wayne, to be honest. And then Batman and Robin was a travesty.
Was that the one with George Clooney?
That's the one with George Clooney and with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman.
I no matter what, I will love Arnold Schwarzenegger in that.
For all his quotes?
Yes.
Yeah. Just chill.
God, he was so...
Yeah, so like
he wasn't the best Mr. Freeze. But he's the greatest Mr. Freeze of all time.
That's good. We've always, dude. Okay, I like that. Yeah, like I think that was like the lowest point for comic book movies.
Okay.
And that was like 90.
See, I was super young, so I loved it.
Yeah, that was like 97, 98.
Yeah, I was like
travesty.
6 or 7.
I hated it. I actually liked Batman Forever when it came out. I was probably like 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever. So yeah, X-Men 1 I think is the beginning point for the modern comic book movie. All right, the last question of the week though. How does the future look for this X-Men franchise? Do you see promise? Do you think it might get stale?
I feel like the steam might be coming down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, just I don't know, just something about it. I think it could do good though. Just, you know, do something with Deadpool again.
See, I think they need to mix it up, but I don't.
What do you mean mix it up?
I think they need to add like Deadpool, like, you know, or Spider-Man, but you know, obviously they can't.
Well, they could do Deadpool.
They could do Deadpool.
Fox owns Deadpool.
Okay, and Fantastic Four, but they never do. They're not really involved together, right?
I guess they are because there's like they're mutants in the other world, but I mean, they would have to. I mean, I'm sure they can think of something.
Yeah. Because I think they have maybe one or two movies where it's like everybody's kind of bored of it. And the thing is, they've never been as successful as the other Marvel movies anyway.
X-Men movies?
Yeah. Because I think this one opened, if I'm not mistaken, it made like 50 million first weekend or something like that. Or, I don't know, maybe.
I think a lot of people just don't like the new one either.
But I like, even the old ones didn't.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it's surprising too, because X-Men, to me, I think to people who grew up on the show, is just like, that's the one.
That's
what
it's either that, Spider-Man, or Fantastic Four. I would think, at least before.
From Marvel?
Before.
Yeah.
Now it's obviously Avengers.
The Avengers. Yeah, see, to me, because I didn't read the comics and only watched the shows, like, Avengers to me is like second tier. Until the movies came out, and
went to the comic books too, you know.
I'm sure the comic books you thought they were second tier in the comics.
No. Like, I think, like I'm saying, like, I don't know what, because I mean they're the ones that they sold Spider-Man, they sold Fantastic Four, and they sold X-Men. Yeah. I'm assuming, like I didn't follow comic books at that time. I'm assuming it's because they're probably the most popular. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But yeah, for me, it was always like X-Men, and I didn't even have Spider-Man first. To me, it was like X-Men.
For me, it was definitely Wolverine and X-Men, yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, early 90s.
And then Spider-Man just, like, crushed everything.
But obviously, Spider-Man has a longer history of popularity.
Yeah, you know? And just, you know, he is almost as recognized. He's one of probably the top 3 most recognizable.
Yeah, no, I think he's number 1.
You think he's number 1 over X-Men, over Superman
Batman
and Superman?
Recognizable? Okay, Superman's number 1.
Yeah.
Batman and Superman are 1 and 2.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, he's top 3 for sure.
Yeah, he's number 1 Marvel.
It's definitely number 1 Marvel. He's definitely like. But like even in the top 3, he's like he'll knock them out every once in a while and get to the top. Yeah, you know. But
that's a good. Superman is 1 that he has to be. Like, Superman is 1 recognizable, not best.
Yeah, no, that's why I said recognizable.
Yeah, maybe greatest because of his long reign.
Mm-hmm. But Batman might even take it.
Yeah, I mean he's a couple years after. I would take Batman over Superman anyway.
Same.
But
I don't care too much for either of them.
Yeah, but definitely I think Spider-Man's better than both. Like, I'm sorry, like, Spider-Man is just I enjoy his humor and everything, like, about his character, his origin story.
Yeah, like I'm saying, Batman has the greatest villains of all time.
Yeah, no, without question. Like, that's
greatest, not even, best, whatever you want to say, greatest of all time.
Like,
greatest, fucking, like, almost like whatever's around him is the best.
Cause just thinking about villains in general, like Spider-Man, to me, he has a bunch of tier 2s. Like,
his biggest threat,
except for I think Goblin is tier 1. Mm-hmm. Both, like, it's Hobgoblin and
Green Goblin.
Not even tier 1. They're
probably his, like, best. I mean, his best.
Yeah, like his arch nemesis.
Venom.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Venom and Carnage.
Venom and Carnage. Although Carnage is very underutilized.
Yes, very underutilized, but he's one of the most badass. Just the fucking name.
Yeah, yeah, but Venom is tier 1. You're right. Absolutely. But it's hard sometimes because I think of him with the suit, and then, you know, I don't. Okay, but yeah, you're right. But yeah, when you think of Batman, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul. We always say Ra's al Ghul,
right.
Ra's al Ghul.
You know?
Catwoman, who's like all these are tier 1 villains.
And the Robins.
And the Robins.
Great, not villains, obviously.
Yeah,
some of them are.
Red Hood, Robin, like just characters. They're the best characters.
What was it? The Dark Knight Returns. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Are you gonna watch The Killing Joke next?
Probably.
Yeah. That's not a theatrical release, right?
I hope it might be. Like even if it's just like a limited release.
Even just like in Hollywood, just like I'll drive all the way to Hollywood to see it. Yeah, so future of the X-Men franchise, I think it could get stale. I don't know how much legs it has left in it, because it's not only that they've done 6 X-Men, they've done the Wolverines, and those haven't been successful at all.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe, I think the last one did pretty good, but...
And, I mean, it's just one of those things so sad, because Wolverine is so sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they just need to do, like, the Weapon X movie.
Yeah. And then, Deadpool was great.
Deadpool blew everything Fox had out of the water.
Like. Yeah. And maybe Deadpool can save it. Yeah. If they put Deadpool in anything, you're good. You're good.
Like, they just have him call Xavier. It's like...
Right?
So
like,
I enrolled. I haven't gotten...
I haven't gotten my admission letter yet. I don't what's going on. What's the holdup? I'm coming over. Like, Yeah, that was...
Is the house back? Is it good? Like...
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So X-Men Apocalypse.
What could save it is cable, and but they would have to bring it fast forward it kind of.
See, yeah, I wouldn't mind if they take it to the sci-fi level with X-Men. We've talked about this before, where I don't know how it's gonna work with Avengers and the DC universe.
And sorry, just to I think one of the big things hurting them too is they no longer have Sentinels. They no longer have Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And the kids are super young. Yeah,
and Apocalypse is the number 1 enemy.
Yeah,
and they at the end of the movie they tease Sinister, but in the whole show Sinister is kind of he's below Apocalypse should be the biggest one.
Yeah, but they might change it in this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, which is fine, but you know how fans are gonna react to that.
Yeah,
unless they do a really sick ass Sinister or something. But yeah, you're right. What was the other one you said? Apocalypse is gone. Oh, the Sentinels, yeah, which is the other biggest threat, So,
I mean, they can't just keep doing Magneto versus X-Men.
And that's my whole point. And that's my whole point was that's what I didn't like that ending. The fact that because that's where it's going. Mm-hmm. They're gonna let him go, and something else is gonna happen. He's gonna flip his lid, and you're gonna see it again, and you're just gonna be like, Xavier, you gotta take care of this. I don't care if he's your friend. Millions of people are dying. So.
And I'm just curious at the end of the movie, who the fuck is rebuilding everything?
Right.
He literally tore the foundation off whatever city they were in.
Yeah.
And other cities around the world.
Yeah. It's like they don't even discuss that because at least in Avengers oh yeah, Tony Stark will pay for it or Bruce Wayne will pay for it, and here it's just
Quicksilver got it.
Yeah.
He's gonna learn right now how to be a contractor and everything and build everything.
Unless they show Magneto putting shit back together, which he did with the house.
Did he?
Yeah,
I thought he just helped.
Well, it was him and was it Jean or I don't know, I forgot who it was who they put the house back together.
It's one of those things I can see him destroying things easily. I can never see him put anything back to even to 2% of what it originally was.
Well, I mean,
because he literally disintegrated the fucking concrete and everything.
Yeah,
he's metal, unless he builds him a house, a place full of just of metal. That's I guess.
He destroyed the entire structure of modern the entire infrastructure of modern life.
Right.
So. I don't know. They'll probably do something with the nukes being gone, and now there's maybe more.
Right, I forgot they're gone.
Yeah, maybe now smaller countries aren't afraid of the bigger countries, and
I just think there's literally you know what? We haven't rebuilt society. We're literally just making nukes over here. Did you see what happened? We need to be prepared for that.
We need more nukes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, X-Men Apocalypse overall, I give it 8.5.
I give it about an 8.5 as well.
Yeah,
maybe an 8.
I think it's an enjoyable movie.
Which one was your favorite of the 3? Just curious.
Days of Future Past. I think that's the best one out of all of them. I don't know how you feel about them. Well, I mean, other than X2, but like, I mean, out of the new ones, yeah. I mean, out of the new ones, it's the best one. But yeah, this one's like an 8.5. I was surprised at how many negative reviews it got. I thought it was gonna be more cluttered, and it ended up being more
focused.
I thought it was more focused than I liked it. I wanted it to be a little more like globe trotting. I didn't want it to be so much like about.
They went from Egypt to wherever, or Apocalypse went from Egypt to wherever Magneto was, to wherever the school is located, and then to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Area.
I mean, they jumped around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, it didn't feel like it. It was just like, okay, we're done. Okay, we're like, they're literally out in like 5 seconds.
And it was cool because it worked for them and against them. Because, for example, I love this. My favorite scene that just surprised me was
besides Quicksilver.
But of course, it was. That scene right there. It was actually before that, you know?
Yeah.
But I love the fact that they get Magneto, they teleport, get Magneto, and then when Professor Xavier's using the Cerebro and like he gets taken over by Apocalypse, and they immediately teleport there.
Yeah, and which is weird because like at the end you have like 20 minutes of Xavier like crawling on the floor. I'm just
yeah. See, that's why I said it worked for them and against them, because they typically don't do that because they want to space it out. They want to get a good balance, but at the same time it worked because you're like, oh shit, like they just like teleported there. Yeah, like they're like, oh, we're here now.
Have it, guys. It's like, what else are you gonna do to us?
Yeah, so I like that aspect.
And then Quicksilver right away. It's just like, God. Yeah. Oh, and then they get kidnapped.
Yeah,
like, literally everything happened in the span of like 20 minutes.
So like it was a great thing. It was a shot in the arm, but then it kind of drags for a little bit until the end, you know. So I thought the pacing was off there, but I applaud them for doing that because it surprised me, because in any other movie they drag that out. Any other movie they pace it out where it's like they're kind of just circling each other until they finally fight each other or meet each other. But no, it was just like, oh, Xavier's over there, we're teleporting there. Give him to me.
1899, whatever this house is.
Yeah.
Street. Like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Lancaster Boulevard. Let's go right now. Exactly. And I applaud them for that. So good for them. But it worked against them, and that's why I'll give it like an 8.5. It ended up not feeling like it had an epic scale. To me, it felt like a small scale thing with great characters, but like I said, they can't have 1,000 mutants. It's impossible. But it was, again, it was like 6-on-6. It was like Civil War, where it's like, okay, like this Apocalypse, like there should be a bunch of fucking mutants here trying to take him down. Like this guy is no joke, you know.
Apparently he is, because Quicksilver beat the shit out of him in like 5 seconds.
Quicksilver is the god. All right, guys, thanks for joining us this week. Remember gmdb.tv if you want to watch game movies. That's the best spot you can watch it, other than our channel. There's a bunch of game movies on there that we don't personally do because it's not the genres we do, or a little too long. We don't have time or something. So there's a bunch of stuff over there. And look out for our next podcast, which will be probably Saturday or Sunday.
Don't give them a date. No,
but it's our yearly. We've done it now, I think, 3 years in a row. It's going to be our E3 podcast, kind of like a, you know, just predictions.
What you're excited for, if you like listening to that stuff.
Yeah. And I'm doing the E3 hype montage as we speak, so that should be up on Friday. So thanks for joining us this week, guys. Thanks for joining us this week, guys, on the Nerds with Glasses podcast. We will see you next week. Peace.
Laters.